If you've ever tried taking photos of someone before, you've probably been asked, hey, what do you want me to do with my hands? Or how do you want me to look? And these questions need to be addressed quite quickly if you're in the middle of a photo shoot. And if you've ever been stuck in this situation, you're not the only one, we've all been there before. But in this video, I want to share with you 5 different tips and tricks on how you can better direct and pose people for photos, whether they have experience in front of camera or not. Let's get it started. And if you're new to this channel, hey everyone, my name is Tommy and I'm a portrait photographer from Melbourne, and I've been shooting portraits for a few years now, so I want to share with you some of my knowledge that I've collected over the years on how to better direct people for posing, whether they're models or not. Tip number 1 is to count them down. This is something that I do a lot when I started photography, and it's literally just counting down 3, 2, 1, and then you take a shot. It's as simple as that, but it actually helps the person in front of you a lot when you're taking photos of them, because they know exactly when you're about to hit the shutter. If they don't know when you're going to take the photo, it's actually really hard for them to tell whether or not they should be posing or not. And if you're just like, shooting away, then it's really hard for them to, work it out and collaborate with you. So something I like to do a lot is just count them down. 3, 2, 1, and I press the shutter. I might do a burst mode shot, but the fact that I am counting them down actually helps them a lot to get ready for the photo. And if you're doing a photo where it requires them to move in like sequence, let's say they're shaking their head or something, you can always go 1, 2, 3, something like that. And it actually helps them out a lot with the timing and understanding how and when to stop. Counting down 3, 2, 1 has been such a habit for me now that I even count myself down 3, 2, 1 if I'm taking photos of like a landscape or food or like other things that can't talk back to me. So definitely make it a habit, because it's quite a good one for taking photos of people. So tip number 2 is to use positive affirmations only. So a lot of people that you might be taking photos of might not have experience being in front of camera too much. So you want to give them a lot of encouragement and a lot of positive reinforcement that they're doing a really great job, and there's only some constructive stuff that they need to work out or improve on if you're not getting the photo that you want. So during your photo shoot, you want to be saying stuff like, oh, great work, great job, that looks beautiful, doing great, that kind of thing. And that gives them a lot more confidence, and that will really show in the outcome of the photos as well. And especially if you're in a service industry, like taking wedding photos or corporate portraits or something like that, where people are definitely, not used to being in front of camera, then giving them that encouragement is going to make the whole experience better. And, that's definitely going to be helpful for your business. So tip number 3, act it out. And this is really helpful for people that I take photos with, especially if the words that I'm trying to get across to them aren't really making sense, or if I've got something in my head that I really want to get them to do. The best thing for me to do is just to act it out in my own way, and for them to kind of see it like, in person. So let's say if I wanted the model to, be facing more to the side, I'll just, I'll do that. I'll literally face more to the side, just like them. So I can do that being in my position as my photographer, or in the model position, like where I want them to stand. I could just use my body language to my advantage and say, yep, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. It could be whatever. And that really helps them by giving them like a visual reference. Acting it out also helps models, because sometimes they feel like, things that you might be asking them is like, that doesn't make sense, or like, I'm really awkward doing that. So if you take the initiative to do the example first, then they'll feel like, okay, it's actually not too bad. And like, if he can do it, then I'll just do it as well. This is probably the biggest takeaway from this video, because acting it out actually helps with, the speed, the pose, the shape of everything that you want. And when the model can see all of that, then it really helps the final outcome of the photo that you want as well. So tip number 4, not everything needs to be made as if it was real. So here's a really good example from my recent photo shoot with Nina. And the photo I wanted to achieve was someone running across the beach, kind of in the water as well. And the first thing I tried was to ask her to run normally on the beach, but what I found was I wasn't moving backwards in time, my focusing was off, and my framing was completely off because I was moving and I was trying to shoot a moving person. So to find a different solution, I just got her to run on the spot, and it looks kind of weird when you're in the moment in person, but it actually helps a lot with the framing, you know, getting the focusing right, and then you still get the right kind of photo as well because it's just really captured in the moment. So that's a little hack for you as well. Try to recreate things that might make it much easier for you as part of like your photography process. And my final tip number 5, if you're not quite getting the photo that you have in your mind and it's kind of frustrating you, ask for a retake in a really constructive way. So this brings it back to, you know, giving positive affirmations only. If you want to retake something, what I usually like to do is I show the model, oh yeah, this is like, you know, the photo that we got, and you know, it's a good start, but do you think it'd be better if we did this? Giving them some suggestions where it's building on top of what we already have. And I don't want to, you know, frustrate them by saying, oh, you know, that's a terrible photo. That one's like, you know, not what I had in mind at all. That's just not going to fly on a photo shoot. And you know, you want to make the photo shoot experience as smooth as possible for everyone. So asking for retakes in a constructive way where it's like, you know, let's try that again, or let's try that one more time, and giving them a direction or something to improve on, because that way you're going to get a more constructive and productive photo shoot. And that kind of wraps up my 5 tips for directing and posing people for photos. First of all, count them down so that they're prepared for the shot. Second of all, use positive affirmations only. You want to make the photo shoot experience as smooth as possible. Tip number 3, act it out. Make it as easy as possible for them to understand what you want to achieve. Tip number 4 is to use a process that works for you, for your photos. So work smarter and not harder. And tip number 5 is to ask for retakes in a constructive way. Everyone's just trying to do their best in the photo shoot, and everyone's trying to contribute, you know, their all for the end product. So if you could also just ask for constructive criticism and build on top of what everyone's already doing, then that's the best way to get the best outcome for photos. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you actually found it helpful. If you did, leave a comment down below on which tip you thought was the most useful. I will be back with some more videos hopefully. It's been a really busy period in 2021 and 2022, but I'll try to get some more videos out. And yeah, feel free to support my channel by liking and commenting, and subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.